This video is sponsored by Incogni, the service I use to protect my privacy by keeping my personal data off the market. All you have to do is go to incogni.com/companyman and use the code companyman to get 60% off an annual plan. The link is in the description. Dave's Hot Chicken is quickly becoming a national brand. While some of the leading chains offer Louisiana-style or Kentucky-style chicken, this one stands out by offering Nashville-style, characterized by being spicier, in this case with 7 levels of progressive heat. In May of 2023, Technomic, an industry research firm, named it America's fastest-growing restaurant chain. The company was established in 2017 and has since grown to an estimated 250 locations that could now be found throughout most major markets in the US, in addition to parts of Canada and the Middle East. What I'm saying is there's a fair chance that a Dave's Hot Chicken has opened up in your area over the past few years, and if not, you might just have to be patient because this company has big plans. The first one in the United Kingdom already opened in late 2024, with a deal in place to open 60 more of them soon. In fact, there are already commitments with franchisees to open almost 1,000 more restaurants, which would make them 5 times larger than they already are. In short, Dave's Hot Chicken has been a massive success story over the past few years, and there is reason to believe that this may only be the beginning. So in this video, I want to outline 5 of the main reasons behind their growth and success so far that lead me to believe that Dave's Hot Chicken may soon be expanding near you. Starting off with the founders. The Dave in Dave's Hot Chicken is referring to Dave Kapushin, who is very knowledgeable and passionate about cooking. He graduated from culinary school and had a respectable job working at an upper scale restaurant before quitting to start his own restaurant with some friends that he had known since elementary school, which is kind of like the dream for a lot of people, right? How many of us have talked about quitting our jobs and going into business with our friends? And that is what I think makes this story particularly inspirational, because the start of Dave's Hot Chicken could not have been more modest. The 3 of them pulled together less than $1,000 and used most of it to buy a small fryer, some folding tables, and a tent so they could open up a pop-up in an East Hollywood parking lot. In the beginning, they were making less than $100 per day. That was mostly coming from people that they already knew. I personally find inspiration from it because that pop-up was opened in May of 2017, which happens to be the exact month that I started this YouTube channel and posted my first video. So it is cool to think about that in the time I've been making these videos, it has been possible for a restaurant in a parking lot to grow into a nationally recognized $400 million a year chain that is significant enough for me to be making this video. I will talk more about the founders and their contributions, but right now I want to go to the next reason on my list that I'm just going to call media, because it has been a blend of social media and traditional media that has helped launch the brand and has continued to keep people engaged with it. See, one of Dave's co-founding friends, and the one that convinced him to start the restaurant in the first place, is Armand Oganessian. Now, in the way that Dave was like the food guy, Armand was like the marketing guy. From the start, he was posting pictures of the food on social media, specifically trying to get the attention of an influential food writer named Farley Elliott to try to get him to come down and review the restaurant. Well, he caught his attention. Elliott came down to the parking lot, I guess not even realizing it was a parking lot until he got there, tried the food, and the next day released one of the most complimentary articles imaginable. It was titled "East Hollywood's New Late Night Hot Chicken Stand Might Blow Your Mind." That article was like a big break for them, because from that point on, Dave's Hot Chicken was considered one of those trendy Los Angeles destinations that would serve hundreds of customers each night. It was between the hours of 7 p.m. and midnight, 6 days a week, and after about 6 months of saving up profits, they combined that money with an investment from one of the founders' brothers and used it to open a proper indoor restaurant. Over the years, it has maintained that trendy image that has helped Armand build a cult-like following on social media, with millions of followers on TikTok and Instagram. They even became the most followed Instagram account in the industry per number of restaurants, and that leads to a bunch of organic word-of-mouth advertising. Taken to the next level when people post their own videos reviewing the food or challenging themselves to eat the outrageously spicy Reaper tenders, which you have to sign a waiver to order.
Can cause me harm, including but not limited to bodily injury, property damage, emotional distress, or even death.
So there have been so many people that know all about Dave's Hot Chicken that have never even been there. Some of them have traveled across parts of the country just to try it, and then of course, since it has become such a sensation over the past few years, traditional media outlets have had reason to cover it. Not to mention celebrities that have become associated with the brand, many of them becoming investors in it, like Samuel L. Jackson and Michael Strahan, but the most notable one would probably be Drake. For the past few years, they even had this promotion where they were giving out free sliders on October 24th to celebrate his birthday. Celebrities, almost by definition, have their own sizable following, so it is easy to see how this has helped attract even more new customers. I mean, this video right here is probably making some people want to run out and try it, so different forms of media have propelled the brand forward and have helped ensure that when they open a new location, people will be there waiting for it. The next reason on my list is an important consideration for any restaurant, but maybe even a little more so in this case, and that is the menu. There have been so many cases where a single restaurant or a small chain has issues expanding because they have to make changes to the menu to make it more widely appealing or simpler, so part of what made that one restaurant appealing could be lost when scaling it nationally. Well, that has not been much of an issue with Dave's Hot Chicken because that original menu was specifically made to be scaled. Before they even started that pop-up, they spent several months developing that recipe, testing other chicken places, watching documentaries about chicken, having their friends test their new recipes, and then altering them accordingly. They did this, well, partially because they did not have any money to get the actual restaurant going, so it was about all they could do at that point, but also because the plan was to have a simple menu that consisted only of chicken tenders and a few sides, so they really had to get that recipe right. They were heavily inspired by the simple menu at In-N-Out Burger. I have a video about them if you want to hear more detail about it, but basically, with a simple menu, the food tends to be cheaper, faster, and more consistent. When you go to a Dave's Hot Chicken, your biggest choices are whether you want the tenders on their own or in a slider and which level of heat. Overall, it is a perfect menu to franchise, which is the next reason on my list. Most of those 250 locations are in fact franchises, meaning they are not owned and operated by the company itself, but rather by outsiders who pay the company to open their own Dave's Hot Chicken restaurants. Truly, this is nothing out of the ordinary. Franchising is almost certainly a top reason behind the growth of most fast food chains, but Dave's Hot Chicken has been really aggressive with it. In 2019, when there was still only one Dave's Hot Chicken, Bill Phelps was hired as the company's CEO with the intention of franchising it in a big way. Bill Phelps had an extensive history with franchising. Notably, he worked with Rick Wetzel to co-found Wetzel's Pretzels and was an early investor in Blaze Pizza, which was once considered to be the fastest growing restaurant chain ever. One of the main concerns when a restaurant starts expanding so aggressively like this is whether or not they are selecting quality franchisees. Are they choosing just anybody so they can get the brand out there faster, or are they being selective in choosing only people that will be able to operate a successful restaurant? And from what I can tell anyway, the selection process is pretty strict. To even be considered for it, you have to have a $5 million net worth and already operate 5 or more existing franchises within the industry. On top of that, they have to be approved by the founders, who judge heavily on their personalities and chemistry with the company. The popularity and potential of the brand so far has attracted a lot of people wanting to do it, and that allows the company to be as selective as they are while still making deals to open hundreds of new locations. Of course, it is always difficult trying to evaluate what is going on behind the scenes of a privately owned company like this, but on the surface anyway, it appears to be a stable franchising system. I say that because it is controlled by experienced leaders, has strict criteria, and in my own experience from visiting a couple of these restaurants located far apart from each other, they seem to be clean, friendly, and overall well maintained. That is going to lead me into the final reason behind their success and potential: unique locations. The company's intention is to make each Dave's Hot Chicken consistent enough with the other ones to where they have a similar feeling and the customers generally know what to expect, while also incorporating unique aspects that make it feel more local. Do you know what I mean? To me, the ultimate example of a company that does this is Trader Joe's. When you are in a Trader Joe's, there is no mistaking that you are in a Trader Joe's, but still, each one captures that local feeling through artwork or displays or whatever else, and I would say it is very similar with Dave's Hot Chicken. I don't have too much to say about it, but they all use that rubber chicken mascot that is also named Dave, by the way, and have a similar menu, but they also have unique artwork that is personally approved by Armand with little touches that try to represent the area. It not only makes a large corporate entity like this does feel more personal. It gives customers reason to explore different locations. There is an adventure aspect to it, so even if you have been to Dave's Hot Chicken before, I recommend maybe seeking out a different location and compare your experiences. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about Dave's Hot Chicken? Does it have the following, the momentum, and the leadership to become as big as it aspires to be, or do you think it is way too overhyped? Maybe you see this as being more of a fad with little substance behind it, and everyone is going to move on to something else once they get tired of it. Either way, it is likely going to continue growing significantly over the next few years with all of these deals that are already in place. So I guess the big question is, do you think that there is enough demand out there to keep up with the growing supply? And finally, I'm curious, if you are a frequent customer of theirs, what level of heat do you get? For me, anything past the medium starts to be a little much, so I've not gone anywhere near that Reaper one, but let me know if you have. As always, I want to remind you that this is not a complete list behind their success and potential, but rather a list of reasons that I feel are the most significant or interesting. Tell me if you think something should be added or subtracted from it, and any other thoughts you have about Dave's Hot Chicken, leave them in the comments. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Today's sponsor is Incogni, an important one because you might not even realize this, but there are thousands of companies out there collecting, aggregating, and trading your personal data. I'm talking about your email, home address, phone number, believe it or not, even your shopping habits. I know, I get freaked out just thinking about it. Consider that if a company has a data breach, your information could be among the leaked data, even if you have never done business with that company. Now, Incogni will reach out to these data brokers for you and request the removal of your personal data. Here is my most recent privacy report saying that 386 opt-out requests have been sent on my behalf, and for 346 of those, my data has been removed by the broker, while 40 are still waiting for a reply. They also provided an estimate saying it would have taken me over 259 hours to send out all of those requests manually, I think proving how impractical it would have been to do it all without Incogni. All you have to do is go to incogni.com/companyman and use the code companyman to get 60% off an annual plan. The link is in the description. Thank you for watching.